in January, we've got the return of Conor McGregor, supposedly. He's going to fight the Cowboy, Cerrone. What can you tell us about that, and how did that come to be? Could you break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, so these two have been talking about fighting for a while here, and they're actually going to fight at 170 because Cowboys fought at 170 a lot. Conor wants to fight at 170 so he doesn't have to make the 55 cut, because if he beats Cowboy, he wants to turn right around and fight Khabib if Khabib beats Tony. So, and he's also talked about feeling that 170-pound division out again because he'd like to take a run at Masvidal too. So if all these things play out the way that Conor thinks they will, we're in for a very fun year of fights.
Now, what is it that, I mean, listen, you know the sport the way that you do. You know the fighters intimately. You talk to them. Talk to me about what kind of sense you get of Conor McGregor. When we see him, I'll just leave it at this. We see him in the news for the wrong reasons, not for being in the octagon, actually winning fights over the last 3 years or so, because it's been that long since he's put on that show at Madison Square Garden. Your thoughts about where Conor McGregor's head is, and how confident are you that he can return to glory?
Yeah. You know, he's been training hard. He's been getting ready for this moment. And the problem is, Stephen A., you've seen this not just in fighting, but a lot in fighting, but in other sports. You know, when a guy has $100 and something million, he's young, he's famous, and now he's unbelievably rich. You know, it's hard to keep the train on the tracks with some guys. And that has definitely been Conor McGregor. And I think that he's at a point now where he realizes he needs to get his act together, and you know, this win over Cowboy Cerrone, if he can pull it off, is crucial in his career right now and his future. So he's taking it very serious. He wants to stay active. That's why he wants to fight this fight at 170, and you know, hopefully we'll get three good fights from him this year.
Dana, I can make a good argument that every card that you put out there, there are usually great fights. So the sport sells itself on the fact that the fights are great, and it's the fights that people want to see when they want to see them. But I also think it's fair to say that there has not been a star the likes of a Conor McGregor. When I look at Masvidal, I got to tell you, this kid is special as far as I'm concerned, just because of his attitude. I know he had that quick 5-second knockout, but I love when he comes on TV, Dana, and I bring up a Conor McGregor, for example, and you know what he says to me? All he says to us is, look, Dana has told me he doesn't really want me to get into that. He really doesn't want me to do too much harm to somebody. He values the guy's life. He doesn't want somebody in the octagon with me like Conor McGregor. He knows what I'll do to him. He alludes to it in that manner. What do you have to say about that? That's what Masvidal says. He says you're basically holding him back because you want to keep Conor McGregor safe. What do you say to that?
He said, Dana White said that Conor McGregor isn't man enough to fight me. So, yeah, I mean, he's awesome. He's obviously hysterical. Conor McGregor is telling me that he wants that fight with Masvidal. So let's see if he can get through Cowboy Cerrone. He obviously wants the Khabib, the Nurmagomedov rematch, which will be the biggest pay-per-view in the history of the sport.
Right.
And then obviously if whatever happens there, if Masvidal's in the picture, it will be a big fight and a fun fight.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.